everybody. Welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah, excited to be here.
I was looking over our notes for today, and I got to say, this is shaping up to be a really interesting one.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, Ohio politics are always a wild ride, right?
Definitely.
But this time, we've got a real wild card entering the race for governor.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Right, Ramaswamy. And, he's not exactly a household name in Ohio politics.
Not yet, at least.
Exactly. But he's got connections, some pretty high-profile connections that could really shake things up.
Absolutely. We've got this news article here laying it all out.
Yeah, this article is fascinating. It talks about how Ramaswamy's got the backing of some major players from J.D. Vance's world, like Andy Sarabian and Jai Chabria.
And those are two names you don't want to underestimate.
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh.
If these guys helped orchestrate both Trump and Vance's victories in Ohio.
And now they're throwing their weight behind Ramaswamy.
Which I think is a huge signal, right?
Definitely. It tells you something about the kind of campaign Ramaswamy's looking to run.
So let's break this down.
Yeah, let's do it.
First off, who are these guys? Sarabian and Chabria. What do they bring to the table?
Well, Sarabian's known for being a real political pit bull. He's got this aggressive digital strategy that really knows how to mobilize the base.
And Chabria?
Chabria's got deep roots in Ohio politics.
Yeah.
He knows the state like the back of his hand.
Which is crucial in a statewide race like this, right?
Absolutely. You need someone who understands the local dynamics, the different regions, the key players.
And the article points out that Chabria actually worked for the Ohio Republican Party for a while, too.
That's right. So he's got all those connections and institutional knowledge.
Now, there's another piece to this puzzle that I find really intriguing.
What's that?
The article mentions that Sarabian is also a top advisor to Donald Trump Jr.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
So what does that tell us? Does this hint at potential involvement from the Trump family in the Ohio race?
It's hard to say for sure, but it's definitely a connection that's worth noting.
Right. It suggests that Ramaswamy is at least trying to tap into that Trump base in Ohio.
Yeah.
Which is still a powerful force in the state.
But it also makes you wonder how much influence Trump still has, especially after the last election cycle.
Right. Has the Trump magic faded a bit, or is it still strong enough to swing an election?
And I think that's something Ramaswamy's team is going to have to figure out.
Definitely. They need to gauge just how potent that Trump endorsement or that connection to the Trump family really is.
Especially since Ramaswamy himself is a bit of an outsider in Ohio politics, right?
He's not exactly a familiar face to a lot of voters.
Yeah, the article highlights his background as a biotech entrepreneur. And, he's got this national profile. He even worked with Elon Musk on the DOGE project.
Right. Which is a whole other layer to this story.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to that in a bit. But first, I want to talk about another key player mentioned in the article.
Who's that?
Tony Fabrizio.
Ah, yes.
The pollster.
Right. Fabrizio worked on both Trump and Vance's campaigns.
Oh.
And now he's on board with Ramaswamy.
Which is significant. Yeah. But for our listeners who might not be political junkies, could you explain what a pollster does and why they're so important in a campaign?
Sure. So basically, pollsters are the data guys. They conduct polls to figure out what voters are thinking, what issues they care about, how they view the candidates.
And that data is gold, right?
Absolutely. It helps campaigns tailor their message, target their resources, and really understand the electorate.
So someone like Fabrizio, with his experience in Ohio, he can look at that data and say, hey, this is what's resonating with voters. This is what we need to focus on.
Exactly. He's got a track record of understanding the Ohio voter.
Which makes him a valuable asset to any campaign.
No doubt about it.
So we've got Ramaswamy, this outsider with national connections.
And a team of experienced political operatives.
Right. But he's going up against some pretty tough competition.
Yeah, the article mentions Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost and State Treasurer Robert Sprague as likely contenders in the Republican primary.
And those guys are no slouches.
No, they both have strong name recognition in the state.
And deep ties to the Ohio Republican establishment.
Exactly. So Ramaswamy's definitely got his work cut out for him.
All right, so let's circle back to that Elon Musk connection.
Ah, yes. The wild card.
Right. I mean, Musk is a hugely polarizing figure.
You either love him or hate him.
So do you think that association will help or hurt Ramaswamy in Ohio?
It's tough to say. Honestly, Musk has a lot of fans, but he's also alienated a significant portion of the population.
Yeah. It's hard to predict how that's going to play out in a state like Ohio.
Right. It'll be interesting to see how Ramaswamy navigates that relationship during the campaign.
Does he embrace it?
Or does he try to distance himself from it?
Yeah. It's a delicate balance.
He's got to figure out what resonates with Ohio voters.
All right, so let's wrap this up.
Okay.
We've got Ramaswamy, a political newcomer with a national profile going up against established Ohio politicians,
He's got connections to both the Trump world and the tech world.
which could be both a blessing and a curse.
Definitely.
So what kind of campaign do you think he needs to run to win over Ohio voters?
Well, I think he needs to strike a balance. He's got to leverage his national connections and his business experience to show that he's a successful outsider who can get things done.
But at the same time,
He needs to connect with Ohio voters on a local level.
make them feel like he understands their concerns.
Exactly. He can't just come in as the big shot entrepreneur. He's got to show that he gets Ohio.
And I think that's going to be the key to his success.
I agree.
So for everyone listening, here's something to think about.
Yeah.
Given Ramaswamy's unique background and the political landscape in Ohio, what kind of message do you think would resonate most with voters in the state?
What do you think will capture their attention?
It's going to be an interesting race to watch, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
And we'll be here to break it all down for you every step of the way.
Definitely stay tuned.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
See you next time.
See ya.